Let's do all that over again. I'd like to challenge the perception of what a cancer survivor is. Now, 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with the stage 4 of cancer. It told me that I had a tumor on my face, no, in my face. I had a tumor in my face the size of my fist. I had a tumor the size of my fist in my face. They told me you have a 50-50 chance of making it out of this without a tumor the size of a fist in your face. And I said, well, doctor, what can I do to help? They said, nothing. I said, but doctor, I have to do something. I feel compelled to survive. And they said, that's all you can do, kid. That's all you can do. You can just feel like you want to survive and hope that feeling that you have inside you, that hope that you have, that sense of wanting to survive, somehow makes you out to survive. So I had to do all that. But interestingly enough, the process of recovery has taught me more than the process of surviving, because when you're surviving cancer, here's the thing. Before the entire process starts, before you become a cancer survivor, you are otherwise a mentally sound person. The hope is that before you get a cancer diagnosis, you haven't met with anything that is that severe. At least in my case, I've never been told that you have a chance of dying. So when I did get the diagnosis that said you have a chance of dying, I thought, oh my. I've never gotten such a diagnosis, doctor. They said, you're 20 years old, you wouldn't expect it. I said, true. Let me just skip forward to the part where I survived. So I survived. And then the process of recovery was very different, because essentially the tumor integrates into your system. You actually become a part of it as it becomes a part of you. I had a tumor right in my face. Several parts of my body were subservient to that tumor. My central nervous system was good friends with the tumor. Couldn't feel my nose. I, for 20 years, never felt my throat. I used to talk like a 5-year-old. And then suddenly, after the survival, my voice hit a deep baritone. Everyone was like, oh my. Like, I never talked like this before. What I didn't understand in the beginning of the process, or at any point, was that, at any point until I understood it, was that surviving cancer means that you actually learn how to use a completely different body. You actually learn to use a body that no longer has a tumor. And see, what that means is that whatever the tumor suppressed becomes mobilized. Whatever part of your body was degraded and decayed because of the tumor recovers. And whichever part of your body used the tumor to gain leverage over the other systems of your body finds that it loses out as well. So in a weird way, the tumor makes alliances with systems in your body. My tumor somehow have this friendship with my circulatory and central nervous system. The tumor destroyed certain pathways in my certain cerebral cortex, in my central nervous system. Certain pathways were completely obliterated, destroyed, taken out, chopped up, sent out to sleep with the fishes. And then certain other parts, like my vascular system, was diverted, took a detour, went that way instead of this way, got all mixed up. And then everybody met up at the tumor. So here's basically what I'm trying to say. In this series, we're going to discover the process of discovering that you have kept. What questions that you need to ask? How you can best guide your process of recovery. How you can both survive and make decisions that otherwise you would not consider. Because the thing is, the process of cancer is actually very, very industrialized. You might not realize it, but there's a pharmaceutical company that makes a chemical, and that chemical just destroys the crap out of cells. Just takes cells and just goes, says, you go down, and you take this, and smack. And those pharmaceutical companies have certain contracts that they need to get met. The hospital and the doctor are obliged to meet those contracts. So long story short, you need to understand what medications you're getting. You need to understand what the process is. You need to understand that chemo and radiation are degradational therapies. They are therapies that degrade the strength and capacity of your bodily functions, with the hope that the tumor also decays. And what sometimes happens is you get decayed by the chemo, by the radiation, and the after effects. Like in my example, I received a chemo that destroys cells, obviously, which is what it does. That's the function of it. And the second chemo that destroys the process of creating red blood cells. And afterwards, I was prescribed a medication that, in order to relieve pain, suppresses the nervous system, so that 1-2-3 mix of chemo, drug that takes out nervous system. I can't feel this hand. This right hand doesn't function. Well, it does function, but this finger, I literally can't feel this finger. And this finger. And sometimes the whole right side of my body. Why is that? I don't know. But it's a condition that you need to think about. See, what you might find is a doctor that doesn't consider the effects of a multitude of prescriptions. See, if you have a doctor, and another doctor, and another doctor, and another doctor, they might not all communicate. And one of them might just give you a drug that doesn't work with the other one. Are you aware of that? Do you know how to stop that? Basically, you have to do the job of advocating for yourself. The one thing that I did not have was an advocate. I didn't have anyone to tell me or to speak to me, to help me or to hold my hand. I just had to stick my hand out and hold it myself. But, I mean, it's a process that will literally make you a person that doesn't ever stop. Because seriously, if you can survive cancer, there's literally no more tests, more adverse and difficult and more inclined towards your failure than cancer. A disease is literally incurable. If you can survive it, buddy, you can survive this world. Also, you're going to learn how to survive. Like, the process of surviving cancer is literally proving the fact that you can live. Like, you have to live. You have to live like your life depends on it. And it does. You have to live like your life depends on it, and it's the one time that it actually does. So, it's a lot of things to consider. We're going to break it down. Now I'm going to take you through the process. I have some pictures. They're very hard to look at, but they are pictures that will help you. And the most important thing is, everybody dies. That's right. Everybody at some point will stop and stop. What does it mean that you have cancer? Well, it simply means that you're going to get to experience that process just a little bit different. Like, you're going to essentially get a heads up. Like, hey, you're dying. But technically everybody is. They're going to get to learn what it means to live. Most people don't get to most people don't get to see that. Most people don't get to experience that. Most people just live their entire lives and then gone, just like that. And they never get to test the true worth and value and capability of that which is their constitution. Constitution means what comprises your integrity. Means you never get to test themselves. It's a double-edged sword. It's a dance with death, tightrope. And if you fall, yeah. So here's the thing. You have to be a person that lives. You have to be a person that is alive. That's really it. You just have to be alive. I'll leave you with this. The first key to it is, in order to live, you have to not hold anything in. If you hold in energy, that energy becomes a tumor, you see? And that tumor hurts you. You have to not hold anything. You have to vent. You have to vent. Release energy in a way that is hopefully positive. Because you don't want to be destructive. That's not positive. Yeah, you have to release energy in a positive way. Step number 1. Take that, bring it out. All right, let's go to the next video, next check. How do they do it? They do this, they do